So anyway, that's why it's so important for us to support each other, because we put on a good front. We are black women. Even though we say we don't like that strong black woman title, we still embody it. You know what I'm saying? We still aren't going to present weak. And it's unfortunate, and this is probably a lie that we've been fed. It's unfortunate that we can't present vulnerable, because we receive vulnerability as weakness. How about that? Let's let that shit sink in. We can't say we truly need help. We suffer silently, because if we show vulnerability, what does that say about my black womanness? That's something to think about. Alright, so it's called dope because it floods dopamine into your body when you're high. Because when you're high, you feel good. I don't know. I haven't done all drugs. I've only smoked weed. I smoked weed when I was younger. Then they started smoking from bongs, and it was too much like a crack pipe. So I was like, I'm good. So I didn't. You want to know who turned me out as a goddamn husband of mine? I have always looked at people who smoke weed and weed smoking. You're a fucking loser. Just because of society. I was brainwashed. Forgive me. I graduated from DARE. I took pictures with the crime-stopping dog. That was me. Yes. Forgive me. McGruff. That's the nigga's name. Anyway, I've always I've had a high moral code, and I believe what they told me was right and wrong as a child, and so that was right and wrong until I got old enough to start thinking for myself and realize everything they told me was right was wrong, and everything that was wrong probably had some validity to it. So I looked at, and I really just look at anyone. Look at me, such a contradiction. I just look at anyone who has a habit at the time. I don't judge people anymore. I leaped over that, did a hurdle. But at the time, I thought of anyone who had a habit as having a habit is a form of weakness. Because that means something has a control of you that you can't control. Whatever the thing is that you're addicted to has more control over you than you. So in essence, you have a weakness. So I looked at habits. I still believe this, because not in a negative way, but just let's have that honesty conversation that having a habit is a form of weakness, because you can't control yourself. Something else is controlling you. It's called a thing. It doesn't feel good, but it's the truth, with love. Anyway, so I was looking at any type of habit as a form of weakness. And so when I got with Dre and he always smoked weed, I was just like, to me, that's a habit. All right, so I got a reading, and these freaking doves, they're not spot on white, but she said a white bird is going to fly across my path, and that's when shit's about to pop off. And I swear the other day I was outside with Michael while he was learning how to ride the bike, which is why I started this story, and a dove, but it was a male, and he wasn't like the stark white ones, but when he opened his wings, his undercarriage was white. Does that count if their undercarriage is white? So anyway, he flew right across my path, and I was like, I actually got a video, but I couldn't really track him because the bird was flying fast, and he was so small, and it was in the sun, so it's a crappy video, but I got a video. Anyway, I wonder if that's the bird. This shit's about to pop off. Alright, so I looked at anyone who had a habit as having weakness. So I got with Dre, he was always smoking weed, so I saw that as a weakness within him. Not that he was weak, but the forming of the habit was a weakness. And so I judged him. A lot of my relationship in the beginning, our friendship started in 2010, and because he took my seat in cosmetology class, that nigga. He been a nigga since day one. I'ma keep that G. But our relationship started with me judging him. And I just now came to a space where I stopped judging him. Now I'm to a space where I don't judge anybody. I can acknowledge difference. Like today I was at the grocery store, and this woman in front of me, she had no ass at all. And the old me would have had a whole inner dialogue and a whole little joke session going and all of that. But I was just like, that's her body. She can't help it that she doesn't have an ass. Like, why is that funny? And so, and it's not me being a killjoy. If somebody else wanted to laugh at the fact that she doesn't have an ass, then you have your kiki. But I don't think the fact that someone was born a certain way. That was the inner dialogue. I'm not even going to tell you what I just thought. But just because a person was born a certain way, and even the fact that I had that inner dialogue, the fact that I didn't share it with you, because it's funny as fuck, is growth. So I'm not 100% free of judgment, but I'm to the point, because before it was me telling myself not to judge. But in order for me to, I don't know, I was about to say I had to look off to the side to continue my thought process, but then sometimes when I be going off, I be looking dead at y'all, so I don't know why I'm looking off to the side. Anyway, yeah, other people can do what they want to, and when I first started, I had to tell myself not to judge, but now I'm to the point where, it's just second nature. We're human. We are all human. We are all flawed. We are all trying to figure this shit out. We all are trying to figure this shit out. Even the most together person is just trying to figure this shit out. So what do I look like judging somebody for that? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I was in the grocery store and I saw a girl. And so, yeah, because when these pigeons fly, underneath their undercarriage is white. I'm going to call this shit a win. Yes, is about to pop off. Alright, so, yeah, I didn't judge her. Oh, but I posted on my Facebook page. I was like, I feel that I've grown, just like I'm telling this story here. I feel that I've grown because I saw a woman who she had a flat behind, and I didn't have the inner dialogue or the inside jokes or anything like that, or tell Bailey, look, I didn't do any of that stuff, and that's growth. And then here come Dre's ass, gonna hop on my post talking about, you talking about it right now, key. Well, I have to talk about it, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not making any jokes about it, and so, growth. Pat myself on the motherfucking back. But the whole reason why I hopped in here was because I'm so proud of myself, because when I'm teaching my kids, look, when Bailey started kindergarten, I pulled her kindergarten teacher to the side and I was just like, if she starts crying when you try to get her to read a Dr. Seuss book, just know she doesn't like Dr. Seuss. And I said that not even registering. I ain't even gonna act. I know when I'm in it that I need to stop. There's something in the back of my head that's like, stop, Lonnie, stop. Shut up, Lonnie. But I just keep going, and everybody has their filter, so I'm sure you're going to come up with whatever I'm saying to my kid in your head, so it don't even take no explanation. But I would just say it's probably not as bad as what some people may think. And some people who may think, yeah, girl, me too. So everybody has their own filter. But I would go in and I'm just like, Lord, and I'd be telling myself, stop, this is not helping. When your dad did this shit to you, it didn't help you. Why do you think it's helping your kids? It's because I'm caught in the cycle and I know better, but I don't do better. It's habitual. But anyway, so I go in on the kids and I told her kindergarten teacher, boom, that's where I was at. I told her kindergarten teacher, she doesn't like Dr. Seuss, blah, blah. How traumatic and abusive is that, yes, I can puff my chest up and say, I taught my kid how to read, but at what cost? Real talk, at what cost? The fucking trauma that my firstborn has endured at my hands. The second one, she's more neglect. And it's not like neglect CPS, but more I was preoccupied with everything. My life was in shambles when I had my second daughter, so I was so preoccupied with just keeping my fucking head above water.